well-founded conspiracies from 9/11 to mass shootings. So if he came out and endorsed her, it's a great way to go. So that's my example. The same thing with how
Tell me what you guys see right now.
Quote from Zig Ziglar.
All right, good. So you guys, and are you seeing it on full screen, or is it like showing it smaller?
Full screen.
Full screen. Okay, good. We in business.
Okay.
I want to make sure you guys are seeing what I was seeing here.
Yep.
Thank you. I know you guys can't see me well, so I'm gonna stop my video here in a second, because I am out of town in a hotel and I can't get any better lighting than this. So you guys gonna have to bear with me on that. I guess I'm just like shadow man tonight. All right, so we're gonna be moving forward on the, as a matter of fact, if you guys can hear me clearly, just go ahead and drop it in the chat so I can make sure you guys are still always hearing me clearly. I have the chat open, so if you got something you need to throw in there, let me know. Good, all right. So this is part 6, guys, profiling your customers, which is still the same. We're still finishing up the same two fish, the shark and the urchin. And we're gonna start with the urchin and go into the shark, and we're gonna go over first some, just a couple of highlights, and then we're gonna move into that. So obviously, that's what these two emblems are showing here as well. The shark, the urchin, and the shark being the person that is loving the money. So we got some people here that's on YouTube Live as well. For our YouTube Live individuals, you can pull the link for the Zoom if you would like to off of the hold on, off the Facebook page. You can go ahead and pull it off the Facebook page if you need to. So it is there. There are a couple of other places at Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram. The link is there as well. But if you just want to stay and watch it on YouTube Live, that's totally fine. You can comment there as well. Some of those comments will move over here to the Zoom because they're connected. So you can still comment, and we'll see it all the same. And for those who are on YouTube as well, you can subscribe by hitting the button on the bottom right-hand side of the screen. And for those that are looking at the recording, if you're looking at a recording, as you hear me talking right now, then there's probably an information box in the upper right-hand side that you can click on and see videos that are connected to this video. And you can also subscribe here as well. And also remember to follow on Twitter, follow on YouTube, follow on Instagram, all those different places. We are there as Training by Dunbar. So you'll be able to take advantage of looking at that information there as well. So we started by talking about sales being psychology, and that was really just to get you guys prepared for the idea of go for no, and for the idea of not telling yourself that you're not into sales. So a lot of times we hear that, you know, I'm not selling, I'm sharing. So we want you guys to know that you are in sales. So that's why I say sales is psychology. So just keep that in mind as you move forward, not to fool yourself into believing that you're not in sales, or let somebody tell you that to make you feel better about going out and talking to people. You are selling something. I'm not sure what on the line, what you're selling, but you are selling something. I would just tell you to make sure that you're selling something of value, so that you don't feel like you're taking the money from people, but you're giving them, you're providing them with a service that is beneficial for what it is that you, whatever it is that they need. And I'm going to show you the book Go for No here coming up shortly, but just make sure that you keep everybody a number until they're a flat out prospect that you have to have an emotional attachment or a relationship with. When you're just out there cold calling, when you're setting up your 30 or 50 phone numbers to call, when you're setting that up, once you get that set up, remember, it's the marble game, right? Learn how to play the game of marbles. You're really just taking a marble from one glass to the next, one glass to the next. And as you do that with the marbles, those are you counting the people. When those 50 marbles or 30 marbles, however many calls you're making daily, when those marbles go from one job to the next, then guess what? You've done your job. You've made those amount of calls, and the results will be what the results are going to be. So don't look for the results. Don't count the results, count the activity. That's all part of sales. And you can profile that customer. Like it says up here, I'm going to show you how to profile that customer later on once they are a customer. But when you're just trying to get people on the line, and you'll see here in one of the next few slides when it talks about making 8 calls to get somebody on the line, at that point, you're just playing the marble game. And if you get stuck with the no's and you're hearing no too much and you're saying, hey, look, I don't know how to deal with these no's, it's making me upset, whether people are slamming doors in your face or whether you're just cold calling or following up and hearing no. If you're having issues with hearing no, then pick up the book by Richard Fenton, Go for No. That's Richard Fenton and Andrea Waltz. I've read that book several times. I've also listened to the audio. It's got some great stories and great analogies to let you all know exactly how you should be moving forward with hearing no and knowing that it's part of the recipe. So last week, I talked about the recipe of success being a situation where you have to understand that no is part of that recipe. And if you don't put no in the recipe when you make that or bake that cake of success, what's going to happen is it's not going to taste right. Right? So if you miss something in that recipe when you're setting up, what happens is when you miss something in that recipe, it's not going to taste the same. So it's the same way with success. When you miss something in a recipe, it's not going to taste the same. What's in it for me? Sorry, I moved from that slide so quick, guys. What's in it for me with them? Remember that WIIFM, WIIFM, what's in it for me? Remember, when you're talking to your prospect, when you're talking to your customer, when you're talking to whoever, when you're doing that, you have to make sure that you're putting something in it for them during your pitch, during your elevator spiel that you do. If you're doing the decision maker appointment, if you're saying, hey, listen, can I talk to you and your spouse at the same time later on? Or you and your business partner at the same time later on? Whatever your setup is to do your spiel, to make your sale, always remember you have to have in your presentation what's in it for them, because that's what's going to help them make a decision to get started in whatever it is, whether you're picking up clients, even if you're recruiting and saying, I'm looking for personal trainers to work for my company. I'm looking for realtors to sell out of my office. I'm looking for people to join my network marketing company, any of those different things. So whether it's on the recruiting side or just the selling a product or service side, you still want to make sure that you have something in your presentation that lets them know that there's something in it for them. Right? And then you've got your personality traits, and we went over whale and dolphin last week. And this week, we're going to be going over urgent, and we're going to be going over sharp, just to talk about the person that loves the money and the person that loves the details, and knowing how to deal with those people in the field so that you're not affected negatively, or you're not turning them off by giving them information that's not necessary for what they need. So Money Mindset, Brian Carruthers. Also Making My First 10 Million, Brian Carruthers. I would suggest you pick up both of these books, short books. You can read both of these books in a 30-day time frame. And I would tell you to pick up these books just simply because they're books that help you change your mind. So you will hear it, over and over again, especially during any of my trainings. How you think is how you live. And if you're scared of money, if you're not attracted to money, money won't be attracted to you. So you've got to put yourself in a place where your mindset is on your money and understands how money works. You have to have those monetary goals set. You have to have them on your mirror. You have to have them in your car. You have to have them on your screen of your phone. The same way we talk about everything else when it comes to your whiteboard and your vision boards and all those other things. You have to have those things in front of your face. So if you're not sure whether or not you have an attraction to money or vice versa, you have to just talk about money to yourself. You even have to have a conversation with somebody else. Just talk about money in a serious manner. State different numbers, 40,000, 50,000. Say things to yourself that are concerning you needing an overabundance of money that you don't currently have, and see how your attitude is towards that. Because a lot of us we're just repelling money just simply because we've had a bad experience with money. Our family has had a bad experience with money, and things of that nature will really put you in a place where you say, okay, my parents didn't do well with money. My sisters and brothers don't do well with money. I'm always running out of money before I run out of month. That makes you really just not attract money, because you really kind of end up having an issue with it. And these books will help you in that space. So I would say pick those books up, very inexpensive books. I believe they are on audio as well. I would tell you to look on Audible to find out. 92% of sales professionals give up after the fourth call. That's why we say the fortune is in the immediate follow-up. Right? 92% of sales professionals give up after the fourth call. Follow-up statistics show 20% of all reps make 80% of the sales. And we know why, right? Because the other ones give up. So it's only that 20% that's staying in the game that make 80% of those sales. So we know that persistency pays, but in what way? 50% of all sales happen after the fifth contact. But most reps give up after just 2 follow-ups. That's from Inside Sales. It takes 8 cold calls to reach a prospect. 72% of all sales calls aren't answered. Baylor University. So remember about repetitive learning. So for those that are saying, man, this is number 6. This is a 6th installment of this series. And I think I've heard this information 3 or 4 times, right? You should hear it 3 or 4 times, because if you can't recite this on your own, then that means you haven't heard it enough. So if you don't know without reading this, without having it in front of you, that 8 cold calls, it takes 8 cold calls to reach a prospect, then you haven't learned the information yet. If you don't know that 72% of all sales calls aren't answered, right? When that's installed into your mind, when you're making those calls, you're not even expecting, right? You're only expecting 28% of your calls to be answered, which is basically the 30% that we talk about. So you call 10 people, you're gonna get 3 answers. When you get that, that's not going to sound unusual to you when you know 72% of all sales calls are answered, right? Yes, yes. So that's pretty much how those statistics work. Increasing customer retention by 5% boost profits 25 to 90%. For those that are selling anything that is residual income, anything that will pay you passively, then you need to really pay attention to that increasing customer retention. Now, that's not going to be for every industry. It's not going to be for every business. But for those who are being paid in a manner where it's subscription-based, this is a serious circumstance for you. Increasing customer retention by 5% boosts profits by 25 to 90%, Harvard Business Review. So we want to make sure that we're utilizing that. And I gave last week some statistics on how 3 new customers equal 1 saved customer. And we also talked about diversifying your sales techniques. And of course, you want to diversify your sales techniques, not only on the side of walking in versus calling, or joining chapters of BNI and Chamber and Toastmasters, or doing educational workshops and email campaigns, but also you need to diversify your sales techniques based on the 4 fish, based on those 4 personalities, based on whether you're talking to somebody that wants to hear details or somebody that just wants to talk about the money versus somebody that wants to just have fun versus somebody that just wants to help people. So that's diversifying your sales techniques as well as you move forward and you go in to your different sales. So putting a ring on it, put your deal on paper. We talked about that. Have a closing technique and make sure that if you have paperwork that you pull that out, that you have it filled out, properly filled out, and you let them know. You make it easy for them to close. That's why I use one-page applications when I'm working my network marketing company and I'm doing Legal Shield. I use one-page applications with highlights. Easy transition, easy for them to pick up a pen and fill it out. When they say, let me take this home, I say, look, it's only 1 page. I can help you fill it out. You only got to fill out the highlighted areas. We do the rest. I do that simply because I want my clients to have an easy transition on that close. And how do I do that? By making sure I've got the information set up for them to just be able to do it in a few minutes. And I always tell my clients, hey, it's only going to take me between 5 and 10 minutes to get you enrolled. So make sure you're doing it. And always make sure you're being trained, whether it be YouTube, whether it be you taking courses, whether you have a mentor or a coach, always be getting trained because you want to stay versed. You want to stay current in your space. You see, I have here in that last plug, get a coach, same shameless plug, right? I've got 2 coaches, right? I had 3 at one time. Now I've got two separate coaches working with me on a regular basis to make sure that the things I'm working on are happening and that I have somebody pushing me as an accountability partner. I also have 3 accountability partners in my network marketing company, and none of them even live in the state of Florida. So I have people helping me across the country in different areas, and we stay in contact with each other and make sure that we're all reaching the goal. So if you've got a workout partner or a coach, please jump in that chat and just say yes to yes, because I know you understand. Somebody has to be holding you accountable, right? Even if you don't have a coach and you're saying, hey, I've got a workout partner. I've got somebody that is holding me accountable and that have agreed for me to hold them accountable as well. So you want to make sure you have that in place. That's what we're doing tonight. Just 2 of y'all, two people with workout partners. Seriously. All right, so then we talked about stupid in the box, and I just want to make sure you guys understand what we mean when we're talking about stupid in the box, right? Can we at least agree that stupid people belong in a box, right? And just say, okay, not really, but we do need to quarantine them because they are contagious and they can mess up your presentation and they can cause an issue. And we prevent that from happening by having a powerful presentation that avoids objections. And how do we put together a powerful presentation that avoids objections? We give them the disease and then we give them the cure. That's what the presentation is about. Giving them the disease and then giving them the cure, right? Yeah, good answers on that workout partner. Good stuff. If you don't have a workout partner, please make sure you're looking and keep in mind, finding a workout partner is like finding a spouse. So you're gonna have to date a few people to find the correct workout partner. It's not gonna be just the first person you find. It's not gonna necessarily be somebody that's in the area that you live in. You need to find somebody that's got a thick skin that will allow you to hold them accountable and you hold them accountable as well. So you see here, urchin and shark. So we're going to talk about understanding the urchin, identifying yourself, selling to the urchin, and understanding the shark, identifying yourself, and then selling to the shark. So just like last week, if we've got an urchin on the line, if you know that you're an urchin, you know that you're the kind of person that typically wants all the details. You won't make a move unless like you want to check the stock and see who the CEO is and look at the last 3 companies they ran and go to Better Business Bureau and look at every review and every complaint and how they deal with every complaint. If that's you, right? We're not saying you're a bad person. I'm just saying if that's you, I want you to be able to step up on the line tonight so I can talk to you just a little bit so we can do a little bit of role playing because I know that works better when we do some role playing. So just put your hand up if you're urgent and you're willing to put your camera on so that we can talk, have a little bit of a conversation so people can see how to dialogue with a person that's an urchin. So let's talk a little bit about with the urchin, what to expect from the urchin. Because sometimes you just don't even know. You might actually be one and not realize that you are actually an urchin. So the color for urchin is green. And remember last week, we went over the dolphin, which was blue. We went over the whale, which was yellow. The sea urchin is green. And they're pretty much just like, give me the details. They want the details. So they're looking for safety. They're looking for security. They're looking to expand their freedom. They like the plan to be and be prepared. So out of the 4 fish, the urchin is probably the most prepared out of the 4. So when you're looking at those personalities, so when you run into a urchin, that's going to be the person that that's on your team. They're prepared for the conference before it ever comes. They already got their tickets. They got their host hotel booked. The day that they release the date for the host hotel, they booked for it right away. They have already taken time off. When the last conference happened and they announced the dates, they went home immediately and called their job and told their job they want to take off next year at that time. They're well prepared. That's what that's what kind of person that urchin is, right? They're logical, high moral standards. They're independent and detail orientated. And a lot of times urchins are self-motivated. They're self-motivated. They can sometimes be complicated. They can sometimes be difficult to build a relationship with because they want all the details, because they're standoffish, and because they don't normally trust until they have all the details and all the answers that they want. So if anybody's feeling like this is them, jump in the chat box and just say it's you. If you're willing to get on here and talk for a second, raise your hand. If you don't know how to raise your hand, I'm just going to have you unmute yourself because I know sometimes you guys don't know how to raise your hand on here. So I get it. A couple of other things, right? Investigative, intellectual, and typically introverted. So what's the downside to the urchin? What's the downside to the urchin? The downside is going to be having a deep, meaningful relationship can sometimes be very difficult for the urchin, which is going to be complicated when you're looking at, hey, I'm a realtor and I'm looking to, the detail side of them is going to be great as a realtor. But when it comes to building a relationship with the customer, it's a little difficult when the person doesn't build relationships easily. Because one of the things you have to realize is when you're selling, you have to build a relationship with your customer. That's what gets you referrals. That's what makes them comfortable enough to buy. And urchins have sometimes a hard time doing that. So as a realtor, the difficulty is going to be bonding with that client. As a personal trainer, again, doing personal training, you're stretching the person out, you're helping them meet their goals, whether it be lose weight, whether it be to gain muscle, whether it be just to get in a specific shape for a specific event that's coming up, right? Like I said before, maybe it's a woman trying to fit into a dress for a wedding. Maybe it's a man trying to fit into a tux for a wedding. Or to be a part of a wedding, right? So when that's happening, you need to be able to build a relationship with that person. And if you're an urchin, it's going to be difficult for you. If that client is an urchin, it's going to be difficult for you if you're the person that's trying to make the sale. So understand that about yourself and understand that about them. And the same thing in network marketing. You're network marketing, you're team building. If you're an urchin and it's hard for you to build relationships, that's going to tremendously slow down how you build your business. When you're recruiting people and you're not letting them get close because you have to know all of these details beforehand. And if you're recruiting an urchin, the same thing. They're not going to be the person that you're going to bring to a meeting or do a private business reception or put them on a Zoom or any of the other ways that you can prospect in a network marketing company. You're not going to get them in that space and then expect for them to just close, because they're not. It might take you 6 months to close an urchin. It might take you a year to close an urchin. It all depends on that scenario. So it depends on who you are and what the product is, and whether they, other things factor in. Do they know somebody else that was in it that did well, or do they know somebody else that was in it that did bad? That will slow down that progress as well, or speed it up, depending on what side of that scenario that your prospect is on. So let me go ahead and open up this camera here. All right, so we got it don't look like we have no urchins here. Nobody raised their hand, so I don't know whether you know how to raise your hand, or if you're urchin, if you feel like you were urgent, unmute yourself real quickly and let me see if we can get you talking here. And I guess it's probably you being an urchin. You don't want to talk either. How about that? Check my chat here. Okay, so who gonna role play then? Because none of you guys are urchins. So who's not an urchin that's gonna role play?
I'm not an urchin, but I'll role play.
Who's that? Is that
This is
Mando?
Fernet. Yes, sir.
All right, good stuff, brother. Appreciate you. All right, so let me get my thing closed out here. So I appreciate you. Appreciate you playing the urchin. So as an urchin, oh, I don't move this thing too far. As an urchin, go back here. I'm sorry. All right, so what I'm gonna go ahead and do here actually is I'm gonna drop this. I'm gonna go ahead and drop this slide. Told you guys, sorry. I'm sorry I look like a shadow man over here. Maybe if I was a little, maybe if I didn't have so much melanin, y'all be able to see me a little bit more, but that's not the case. So y'all get what y'all get tonight. All right, so I'm gonna see if I can pull you in here, brother. Is it gonna let me pull you in? No. All right, so we're gonna have to go this way. All right, so as a urchin, let's take personal training first, and then we'll go to network marketing. We'll just give two examples of that, just so people will have a better idea. So we're gonna go ahead and go with personal training first. So as a personal trainer, if I'm talking to Fernando, Fernando is typically going to ask a lot of questions. He's gonna already have done some research. So just, I mean, as much as you can act like, you know, act like an urchin, Fernando, for this example.
What? Yeah.
Act like one. So as I'm talking to Fernando about exercises and things he needs to do to get in whatever shape he wants to get in, a lot of times that urchin has already looked stuff up online and asked their friends and pulled different scientific information, and they're going to be rebutting certain things I'm saying just because they pulled information. And you have to know that and be patient with that person. And that's why it's not that you can't be patient, but if you think that a person is just being sarcastic, now you're frustrated when if you know that they're an urchin, then you won't have that issue. So I'm gonna start by finding out what you are by having that conversation. So man, you just talking, we're sitting down before we go into any exercises. We just kind of sit down, I'm asking you questions about what you're trying to do. So you came here, you said that your brothers get married and you want to get into a tux, a specific tux, and you told yourself you was gonna lose weight. You set the goal in the beginning of the year, you didn't do it. So now you bought the tux now already too small, gonna force yourself to get in it by going to the gym. So you're working with me, and so I'm typically just asking you some questions. So why is it so important for you to lose? I know you said you're trying to lose 17 pounds. Why is it so important for you to lose 17 pounds?
So I promised my brother that I'll be in the wedding, and basically I just haven't done it yet. So I just wanted to see how I could do that in a short amount of time. And I did my research, and I tried to see if the exercise that I could do that would reduce the amount of calories. And I just want to see what you think about that.
Got you. That makes sense. And so are you excited about the wedding? Like, are you looking forward to being in a wedding and kind of doing the after party and all those different things? Are you interested in that stuff? Like, is that what this is about for you?
No, not really. I just want to just support my brother, and I'll be, I'm happy to go out there and that day, that special event. But yeah.
So what about, so you part of the wedding party? Like, are you helping set up? Are you like, do you have any other duty there? Or are you just kind of going because are you just showing up as the brother?
No, I want to definitely support the wedding as much as I could. But when it comes to interacting with other people, I don't do well on that. So I want to avoid it.
Gotcha. Well, I'm gonna do what I can to help you. Of course, I'm as a personal trainer, I never guarantee my results. But if you follow the things that I'm suggesting, then it's highly likely you will meet that goal. there's a lot of information out there. So like if you surf the web, things like that, you'll find a lot of information. Just keep in mind that certain things work for certain people. So it's not necessarily that the information is wrong, but it also goes along with body type. So sometimes a person will read something and say, okay, this worked for this person, but they may have a different body type. They may also have different comorbidities that you may not have, that they may be taking something because they can't take something else because there's something in it that they're allergic to. It could be all kind of other issues. So there may be a better product that somebody could take to move along faster that they're not taking because their body won't accept it. So they may be posting that they're taking this and running or walking or whatever. So everybody's circumstances is going to be different. So there's a lot of information out there, but based on your body type, based on the information that you gave me about yourself, I'm gonna look to put together a plan to help you lose that 17 pounds in 30 days so we can get you in that tuxedo that you already spent money on so you don't have to get it altered. So I hope that's going to work out for you.
Okay, sounds good.
Good. So the first thing I want to do is I want to ask you a couple questions about how much water you're drinking, what your caloric intake is, and also I want to know what exercises that you're comfortable doing that you've done before. And you don't really have to answer those. You were
All right.
though. You look like, wait a minute, now I don't know the answer to that stuff. No, don't worry about it.
I'll try to do that, but I haven't done that yet.
So the reason why I'm giving you that information is because it's details, and see that's what you want to hear.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I mean? So now I'm throwing these. Now if I said that to the wrong person, if I said that to the shark that just wants results, the shark just wants results. The shark don't want to hear all that stuff. The shark is basically like, just tell me what I need to do so I can have the 17 pounds gone in the 30 days. The shark don't want to talk about their caloric intake. They probably don't know what it is. They don't even want to know what caloric intake means. The reason why I asked, were you looking at enjoying the wedding, is because I'm trying to find out whether you're a dolphin and whether you have any dolphin in you at all. So you answered that question. I also asked you a question about whether you were playing a part in a wedding or whether you just going just to support your brother because it's your brother. And you said, well, I'm kind of going for support. That's my brother. I want to be there for my brother, but I'm not really a person that's going to communicate with a lot of people. That being your answer, again, falls into the urgent pattern. You're not a whale. You're not, because if you were a whale, you'll be volunteering at that event, not just being there. You would be getting on the event planner's nerves, asking, can you do stuff because you're the groom's brother and you think you got a right to be doing things because your brother get married, and you'll be ticking the event planner off. That's what the whale would be doing. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. So I'm really filling you out by asking you those questions. So now I know how to proceed, and I know to give you everything in details. I know that I can give you a packet to look at. I know when I tell you that it depends on what body type you are. As an urgent, you're probably going to ask me, well, what do you mean body type? So what are the different body types? So I'm gonna have to have a diagram of the body types and the explanation of those body types, because when I give that to you, the next time we meet, you're gonna been on looked at and read that stuff, because that's gonna be important to you as an urgent. So when you do as a person in the personal training space, that's what that will be. If you were a network marketer, it will be the same thing. You would want to see the comp plan. You would want to talk to other people that were having success in different, like you're not going to settle for you're an engineer and I put you on the phone with an engineer. You're going to want to talk to somebody that did what you did before. You're going to want to talk to somebody that has a college degree, somebody that doesn't have a college degree, because you're saying to yourself, it's all kind of people in the world. So maybe this engineer, like you may be saying, I'm smart, I'm an engineer, I'm smart. So of course another engineer did well. We all going to do well because we're smart. Let me talk to somebody that's not smart. And whoever that person would be, whatever category that person would fit in, they will be asking. They're not going to say it that way, obviously, but they're going to, whoever they think is a person that's not as smart as they are, they're going to say, so do you have anybody here that's just a regular layman that, don't have a college degree or whatever? Can they have success here? That may be how they label that person, even though a person that doesn't have a college degree can sometimes be smarter than a person with a degree. But in their mind, they may label it that way. So you have to know to be able to put that person in front of somebody who's going to do that. So you have to be really prepared when you're dealing with an urchin, and understand that urchin is going to want details. They're going to want something tangible. If it's on the phone, they're going to want you to send an email afterwards with information, right? You're going to have to put attachments in the email. They're gonna want to see what, like when I do a group presentation or I'm setting up a group and the person says, oh, and I say, well, we have an amendment. They said, well, can you send me a copy of the amendment? They want to read the amendment. That urchin wants to read the amendment. So I have a copy of that amendment that I send them, because you have to be prepared for those individuals, because if you want them in your business, if you want them on your team as a realtor, if you want them as a personal training client, you have to know that you have to cater to the kind of personality that they have if you want their money, right? So it's like you, I'm assuming that you're of the Hispanic culture. I mean, I could be wrong, but
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
So a person that speaks Spanish or is bilingual, if you want their business, then you need to be able to speak Spanish, or have somebody in your organization or on your team or as a part of your company that does, because you can't expect a Spanish speaking person to do business with you when you haven't taken the time to learn their language to be able to communicate with them. So it's the same thing when it comes to personalities. Look at it the same way. You wouldn't walk into a Spanish store that had no English writing anywhere in there. When you walked in there, the television was playing Spanish, right? You heard that on Spanish, you heard Spanish music playing, all of the labels and everything was Spanish, and you going in there to do business, to try to offer our small business plan through Legal Shield, and you talking English, and you want that business owner to buy from you. That would be ridiculous for you to think that. But it's no different when it comes to the different personalities. If you're not going to cater to a personality, then don't expect them to do business with you, because it's going to be a clash.
Yeah, makes sense.
There's going to be a clash. And sometimes we think it's got to be the obvious thing, like communication, because of a language barrier, right? So sometimes when you say a mirror match, it's not just mirror match based on gender. It's not just mirror match based on religion. It's not but just mirror match based on background. It's mirror match based on personality as well. So you've got to remember that you've got to know how to go in between those personalities and start the conversation out by asking questions that let the person know that, or not let them know, ask questions so that you understand who you're dealing with. So now when they're doing stuff, it won't be frustrating to you, because you know that they're not doing it to antagonize you or to be sarcastic, but because it fits them more. And then it becomes to be, it's a game now. It's fun. It's fun, because when you're trying to figure out what they are, and as you're figuring it out and they're saying and doing certain things, you're kind of laughing in your head, because it's helping you put together that profile for that person. And then once you get them figured out and you can close them based on that, it's so strategic, and it works well when you do it that way. So if anybody in the chat has done that before, just put yes or yes in the chat. Let me know that you've kind of done that before. And I want you guys to start practicing that, even doing it with your team. So even if you're saying, hey, look, I'm not talking to that many customers right now. Maybe that's a circumstance. Maybe it's just you want to do that with your team. When you're talking to your team, do that with your team. Find out the people on your team that you're talking to as you're building a network marketing. If you're building a real estate team, if you're building a personal training team, talk to those people and find out what they are by having conversations with them. And then write that down so that you know. So when you talk to that person again, you know that, okay, this is what this person does. This is how they react to things, right? So a new promotion comes out, and that person wants all the details, and somebody else just says, tell me what I need to do. I just want to know what I need to do. What do I need to do to make this money? And the other person is like, oh, because you sent me the flyer, and you send them the flyer, and they talking about, well, where's the, I don't see none of the, now you got to send them an FAQ behind the flyer, because they want all of the details before they move forward. So when you know you have somebody that you're working with that way, just send them all that stuff up front. That way they're not calling you again or reaching out, or just they don't do anything because they never received the right amount of information. So that's how that's Lori Wu and Bob Frazier. That's it. You guys sleeping tonight. I don't know what y'all doing tonight. So let's move to the next one. Let's move to the next personality, which would be the shark, right? So with that shark is just about the money, right? Or results, right? So, because sometimes we say money, and sometimes, it's just results. Because let's take the same personal training situation. If you were a shark, like a dominant shark, there's no money to be made on me helping you lose 17 pounds to go to a wedding. So that's why we sometimes say it's not just about money. Sometimes it's about they're aggressive about results. Sometimes the result is money. Depends on what it is, right? So sometimes that realtor wants to sell that house to make money. Sometimes the shark is pushing for goals. It's not money, they set goals, a certain amount of goals to push for. And they're pushing for those goals, and that's what they're shooting for, right? So does anybody want to play the shark? Because I beat Fernando up enough so far. Anybody want to play the shark? Who want to play the shark tonight? Who wants to play the shark? Anybody willing to play the shark? Might be some sharks on the line. While we wait for the shark, let's look at some shark personalities here. So of course y'all know that. Y'all know the shark is red, right? So the shark is gonna be red. That's gonna be the shark's color, red, right? So the shark is they're looking, where's the money? They want results. They have drive, right? For a shark, it's about status. It's about recognition. It's about wealth. It's about success. So do you know anybody that's really like it's like recognition? They're recognition orientated, right? Really recognition oriented. I'm not talking about light stuff. I'm talking about they'll tell you to recognize them. Are you gonna recognize me on the next call for hitting that? That's gonna be that aggressive, dominant person that wants that, that's what they're looking for. And sometimes it's like, man, this person is like, no, that's their personality. And that's why this stuff is so important, because it really will help you close your deals with people when you understand. Like, so and put this in, just put yes in the chat box if this has been you. How many of you all have been sitting at the table to close somebody and you're steadily talking about the membership or talking about the product or talking about the service that you offer, and that person is kind of like, they're ready to sign up and you still talking? And it's like, you could have shut up 5 minutes ago and they would have enrolled in whatever it is you're offering them. But you're trying to get your whole presentation out because you've been trained to do your whole presentation. You guys follow what I'm saying? But that person is a shark. They got a shark mentality and they just want results. You're telling them that this works a certain way. They want to go and do it. So they're like, hey, let's go and get it done. And they really want to run and get it done, but you won't even give them the paperwork. You're giving them testimonials and explaining things to them. And they're like, man, if this guy don't shut up, if this lady don't shut up and go ahead and give me this paperwork so I can sign up. And sometimes you'll talk yourself out the deal, because that person really wants those details. So they're a big picture person. They're looking for results, and they're pretty much just, they're approaching life on the big scale. All right, they got the big lottery mentality, right? They're not interested in details. They desire attention, and they believe in getting things done. They can be aggressive, and a lot of times a red or a shark can really be egotistical. They can have a really big ego a lot of times. So you got to know that when you're dealing with that kind of person, that's kind of what you're looking at. So they can be blunt. They can be misunderstood. They're definitely self-motivating, and they're definitely extroverts. The sharks are. So got a big ego mentality. They normally are driving a nice car. They normally have nice clothes, name brand things. They normally live in the big house that they're talking about. And they're status driven. That's what they are. They're status driven. And what's the downside to a shark? They can become a workaholic. They can become a workaholic. So a lot of times a shark will end up losing the wife, losing the kids, or losing the husband, because everything is about work, and there's nothing else. When they're on vacation on the beach, the man and the woman got their computer in a little bag next to the chair at the beach. Right? They still doing conference calls. They doing Zooms while they in the beach chair at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and the family starts to get annoyed with that stuff. So that's the downside of that person being a workaholic. Sometimes you'll find that in the shark. And again, people will have all of these different things in them and not necessarily be that. So I don't know whether Bob was muting himself so that he could be the shark or what. I know I saw you popping up, Bob, but I know I was explaining that. So if that's what you was doing, you can go ahead and be the shark.
Yes, sir. I'll go. I thought I was a shark and a whale, but after I heard the scenario, I realized that I'm not a shark. I am an urchin and a whale. And the reason I say that is because I have been told several times by my wife, relatives, that always like to analyze stuff before I do it. And I thought I just wanted to tell me what it is. If I don't know how to do it, then I'll find out. If I know how to do it, just say what you got to say and let me go and get the end result. But after listening to that scenario that you and Fernando just went through, I am an urchin because I do like to analyze and get the facts for myself to make sure that they are right. And I like helping people, and I want to make sure that I'm getting them the right information.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So hold on, let me do something real quick. See what happens. You guys jump in that chat for me too and let me know what you guys see. Do you guys see the you guys see, if you just put yes in the chat if you guys are looking at a slide right now. Let me see. Yes? Yes? Okay, good. All right. So looking at that shark, loving to make money, right? So let's do the realtor. And then I know most of the people on this line right now, because I can see who's on here, are network marketers. So let's do a little bit of realtor, then we're gonna go into network marketing. So as a realtor, so let's play this role where you are, I have a real estate office, Bob, and you are a realtor looking to work in the office, in our office. So I'm interviewing you, I'm talking to you, and generally speaking, I'm just asking you, so what is your goal? So, you know, we always like to know what people's goals are when they join our real estate office, because we want to know what you're shooting for. We want to make sure you've got some goals set and that you kind of looking to really, you know, add to the company. Like, what do you bring to the table? So how do you feel about working with us, and what kind of goals do you have set?
My goal is to be the best realtor that you ever hired, and to have satisfied customers continue to come in.
And be the best realtor that we have. Good stuff. And what motivates you? Like, what motivates you to be a realtor? Like, obviously you became a realtor, and you've been with a couple other real estate companies. You've been a realtor for over a decade. So like, what moves you? Like, what excites you about being a realtor?
Well, just I love riding down in different neighborhoods and looking at the different homes, how beautiful they are, and the fact that I have a religious background. Every morning that I wake up, that's a joy to me. So that's a motivation. So that's what keeps me going.
Gotcha. And what we do is monthly. Monthly, our team gets together and we do like just kind of a meet and greet, and it's just us. We kind of just, because some of the realtors, they go in and out of the office, and you won't always see them, but they work here. Some of them work from home, and they just come here to drop paperwork off. So we like to have a meet and greet once a month, and we do that meet and greet just so we can all meet each other at some point. It's just a place for us to come and kind of have a good time, and we drink, we have alcohol there, and we just kind of chit chat and whatever. So like, will you be able to show up to those?
Yes, that's without a problem. I mean, if there's some meeting where I'm going to gain information, I'm there. But if the meetings are going to the left where there's no information given out, then I kind of shy away.
All right, good. And normally during like Thanksgiving, different holidays, different organizations, charitable organizations, nonprofits, when they're looking for volunteers, they'll come by here. And a couple of our people, like, they'll go to the homeless shelters and they'll give away, not give away, but they'll help serve the people, the homeless people, so that they have a Thanksgiving themselves. Normally during Christmas time, when they got the backpacks and the things and stuff like that, they give away Christmas presents. Then they'll come here and they'll get a couple of volunteers. So we got some of the realtors that like to kind of go out and do the volunteer work as well. Is that something that I could put you on the chart for, or is that kind of not really where you want to spend your time?
That's down my alley. I love volunteering. It's my way of giving back to the community. I have volunteered for the county functions, helped out the sheriff department, and book bag giveaways, Halloween night for different organizations. So giving volunteering, I have no problem with that. That's
Gotcha. And really, I got a couple other questions for you, but I wanted to ask you something about, because what I found, and I've had this office for about 27 years, and I've seen some really good realtors kind of go down the drain because they hate to do the paperwork. Like they just don't like doing paperwork. So sometimes they have to hire somebody to do it, or whatever, because sometimes it's mundane and we know it. So like, how are you with paperwork? Like, how do you handle paperwork? Are you fine with doing paperwork, or do you have somebody that takes care of that for you? And like, because we know sometimes that people they'll lose their career just not really doing things right and end up getting themselves in trouble. So how are you with paperwork?
I'm okay with paperwork because anytime you're dealing with paperwork, it has to be detailed. And I'm a very detailed, organized person. So I analyze everything before I do it, make sure that the details are correct so there won't be any comeback.
All right, good. That's great. So, all right, so guys, so what am I doing? I'm asking Bob questions to figure out what his personality is. So I asked him about volunteering during Thanksgiving and Christmas because I want to know whether he's a whale or not. Does he like to help people? I'm asking him, is he going to come to our monthly parties that we do, get-togethers that we do, networking events, because I want to know whether he's an extrovert and whether he likes to have fun like a dolphin does. I'm asking him about the paperwork as a realtor because I want to know whether or not he's detail orientated. Because remember, you can have all of these traits in you, but there's always something that's stronger. You're going to have you're very rarely going to find somebody with any kind of splits, like even splits as it comes to these four personalities. So that's why I'm asking those questions, so I know who I'm dealing with and what to have that person do. So these are the kind of conversations that you have to do. You have to ask questions. That's how you build a good presentation, by asking questions when it comes to personalities. Now, when you're doing an actual presentation to sell a product or service, you only ask questions that you already know the answer to. And you do that because you don't want to get caught off guard. It's funny because I heard Darnell Self saying that the other night on the call. He said that himself on the call. You never ask questions that you don't know the answer to when you're doing sales, because you don't want the presentation to go in a different direction. See, so it's like, have you ever signed a contract, right? We know where that's from for those that work with Legal Shield. That's a question that that they signed a contract. You talking to a 30-year-old? Yeah, they signed a contract. They got a cell phone. They can't say signed a contract. They signed a lease where they live at, or they own a house and they signed those agreements. So at a certain age, that people sign different agreements and contracts. So let's look at the shark side on the network marketing. And let's not look at recruiting, because we just recruited with the real estate. Let's look at working with somebody on your team that's a shark, because when you're looking at selling the product, shark is not going to matter. So let's look at working with somebody within your organization. So you're dealing with somebody, you're having your team calls, and you got your organization, you got all these different things happening, and you got somebody on your team that's a shark. And what I want you guys to understand is, when you're working with that person, that shark, you have to understand that they look at things differently. So a new promotion comes out, and I'm talking to Bob, and Bob is a shark, and I'm like, hey Bob, so I know you sure you was on the leadership show today. They just came out with a new program called Builders Bonus, and this Builders Bonus, every quarter they're going to be giving you a bonus as long as you're at the senior director level or above. And there's going to be a bonus that they're going to give you based upon the amount of premium dollars that you write. And then if you're doing the double-digit recruiting, right? If you have to double-digit recruit every month in order to qualify for that bonus. And if you do 25 associates a month, then they'll double your bonus. So there's a whole bunch of things that you have to have lined up to do it. Your persistency has to be a certain place and all that. But I'm gonna send you all the details on that, and then you can let me know how you're gonna move forward on it. So in the chat box, guys, am I having a right conversation with the shark, or am I having a wrong conversation with the shark? Just put it in the chat box. All right, I got 2 wrongs. I got it right. All right, so we got so just on those we got an even split, right? So the answer to that is I'm having the wrong conversation with the shark, and let me tell you why. Now, if that shark has some urchin in him, that's the right conversation. If that person is a shark and a shark more than anything else, me talking about I'm gonna send details, me talking about your persistency needs to be at a certain, they don't want to hear none of that. What they want to know is how much money can I make? What's the bonus money? How much is it? They don't even want to know how to get the bonus. Because let me tell you what's going to excite that person. What's going to excite them is how much it is. How much of a bonus can you get? So what conversation am I supposed to be having with them? I'm gonna be saying things like, hey, yeah, last quarter, Jackie Cote got $100,000 bonus. Last quarter, Darnell Self got a $75,000 bonus. Last quarter, Mike Humes got a $74,000 bonus. That is what's going to drive that shark. And then what that shark is going to then do is go rack their brain like, okay, what do I need to do? How am I going to do this? I got to make this. I want to get that. If I can get half that, I'll be good. And then when they start going to work, they're going to be like, well, wait a minute, how do I? And then they're going to call you back and they're going to say, so let me ask you a question. You said to qualify, I got to have a certain amount of recruits a month, right? Yeah, you got to have double-digit recruiting every month for the next 3 months. See, now they're going to get the details as they need them because they know that they can't reach the goal without hearing. But when you give them all the details up front, it's not helping them. They want to know what the possibility is on the amount of money that they can make on this deal. They want results. What can my results possibly be? They need to get their mind set in that space to know this is what my results can possibly be. And then from there, now they're going to be like, okay, so, but I don't get it if I got to do double-digit recruit, right? So I need to have 10. Okay, see, now they need that detail because they know they can't qualify without it. So did you said organizationally, I have to my persistency have to be a certain place. But right now it's 79. Like, is that good enough? Or all it needs to be is a 78. Okay, good. So they got that detail when they needed it. You follow what I'm saying? So that what they want to know up front is the result. They're counting nothing but results. The shark is. So if that person is on your team, how do you excite that shark? Performance Club trip. Hey, all expense paid, Mexico, you and your wife or you and your husband. What do I have to do? This is all you got to do. Okay, great. Now they're looking at, now they're contemplating in their mind how they're going to do it. And as they contemplate, they're going to realize that, oh, well, wait a minute though. If I do that, well, can I do that? Hey, Mr. Frazier, hey, am I able to do this? Well, no, you can't do that. So this is one of the details of it. Boom. See, you got to give them the detail when they have a question that pops up that will prevent them from being able to get the result that they want. That's how you have to work with that shark. So whether that person is on your team, whether you're married to that person, whether that person is somebody that you're bringing into your company as an employee, you gotta put that results-oriented person in a place where results are really, really, really gonna help. You've got to do that. You definitely got to do that. So I want to make sure that you guys understand that when it comes to a shark. So that the urchin details that are they interested in the money? Yes, they're interested in the money, or they won't be involved at all. But they know that if they do everything that they're supposed to do based on the details, that they're going to make the money. The shark is thinking just the opposite. Let me get these results in my head, and then it'll govern me to do the right activity. And both can win. Both can win. Neither one of them is bad to be. Neither one of them is better to be. But you need to know who you're dealing with so that you know how to approach that person when you're saying, how come y'all not excited about the Performance Club trip? Because you may be talking to people that don't care about that. You may be talking to people that don't care, that they don't have shark or dolphin in them. They're more interested in how many people they can help win the trip. Well, how do I help my team get this trip? I just came back from vacation. I'm not really interested in a vacation, but if I can help my people go there, right? So that person is going to be that well. So you just got to make sure that you understand those things so that you don't say the wrong thing to a person. Because the same way they can say something to you that you take offense to or take personal, you can say the wrong thing to them and they think that you're a bad team support, or they think you're a bad business owner that's governing them, all those different things. So you got to make sure that you're clear on that stuff. You got to make sure you're clear on that stuff. Good. Okay, so what time is it? Let me check the time here. I don't have. I'm just in limbo. Oh wait a minute, I got a watch on my wrist. Okay, so it's 10:04. So what I'm gonna do is, because it's 10:04. Well, before I do that, let me do something else before I do that. I'm gonna take some questions, but hold on. I don't want to forget about this book deal. All right, so let me mention this before we go into the questions here, because I had it in the beginning, but I skipped it. All right, so book is gonna be getting released in about on October 5th. So it's not no in about. So October 5th is the book release date. But we're doing pre-sales and all that kind of stuff now. So we'll be marketing for the next month and I don't know, 2 days or 3 days on the book. So network marketing as an entrepreneur, preparation for becoming an entrepreneur. So that's the name of the book, guys. It's going to be, this is an ebook. This is an ebook. So make sure you realize that up here at the top. So the full book that I just finished doing, that full book we're not releasing yet because there's too many different things going on. You got COVID-19. You got a big situation going on with the racial climate in this country, really all over the world at this point. And you also have elections coming up. Not a good time to release a business book. So what I'm doing is I'm writing an ebook every 90 days. And the ebooks are going to be relative to the entire book, Becoming an Entrepreneur in the Network Marketing Industry. So there are going to be chapters in this book that are relative to the chapters that are in that book. It's not going to have all the same details. It's going to be changed around a little bit. Remember, my main book, I've got 11 interviews with 11 other business owners talking about their experience in network marketing in another business or owning a business from home and a brick and mortar business. So all those things are in the full book. But in this book, we're going to be talking about things like controlling your finances so that you can have the money to do your network marketing things that you have to do, your conferences and things like that. Not using your job money, but learning how to utilize your network marketing money to put it up so that you can pay for your conference with network marketing money. Talking about networking before you market. That's something else that we talk about in a book. What's some other topics here? Hold on. That we're going to be covering. We're going to also be covering building a relationship before the person buys the membership from you. Tiffany Sullivan's chapter is Are you really a business owner? Where Tiffany Sullivan is going to be going into how to structure your business, how to start your business as far as limited liability company or S Corp, what those things mean, why you should choose an S Corp or over a limited liability company or an S Corp over a C Corp. And she's also going to talk about the tax liability and the legal liability of those different things. So she has a chapter in there talking about those things. We have a chapter talking about let's talk business. Are you an employeepreneur? So are you an employee and an entrepreneur, and you're caught in between the two worlds and don't know how to get all the way over and leave that 9-to-5 alone? So that's in the book as well, amongst other things. Of course, I'm not gonna get the whole book away, but those are just some things that are in the book. So you see here, it says a contributing author, attorney at law, Esquire Tiffany Sullivan in the book. Excited to work with her. Of course, most of you guys know she's a good friend of mine. So this is what she's gonna be talking about, different things you see on the right-hand side. If you can read it, I know my site not that good and I can read it, so I'm sure y'all can too. Just different things, IRS benefits and burdens, and tax implications when you actually open up your business, meaning that you file for a corporation, state filing requirements, other legal requirements. So I had her come in and do those things because I felt like as a business attorney, she was the best person to provide that information. And you'll find even in some of the other ebooks that are coming, and also the full book, you're going to find all the same. Certain things I'm not going to talk about. I'm going to have people come on and talk about those things in the book, where I interview them and things like that, because I want you to hear from a person that's either licensed in that area, if it's an area that you would need to be licensed in, and also if they've been in that trade for some time. So once your copy, pre-sale begins on Labor Day weekend. That's this weekend coming up. So very inexpensive. So for the first 7 days, the book is only going to be $2.49 for the first 7 days. Starting on 9/11, the book is going to go up to $4.97 a copy. And you can print the book off just if you choose to. You'll be able to look at it on Kindle because it's going through Kindle publishing and things like that. So you'll be able to pull it up on your e-reader if you buy it through Kindle, whatever the case may be. The actual book release is going to be on 10/5/2020. So when you go in and buy it pre-sale, if you do it within the first 7 days, you're only going to be charged at $2.49. And of course, I'm marketing out of the state of Florida, so there shouldn't be any tax on that unless you're in the EU. Then the VAT tax, and that'll be connected to the cost of the book when you're going to buy it, because all of that stuff is set up already through a channel. You'll be able to go to my website and get it. You'll be able to go to Kindle Publishing and get it. You'll be able to get it through Amazon. You'll be able to get it through a direct link from me. So of course, I'll have it everywhere. I have it posted on all different social media sites as well. It'll be on bookstoread.com. So a lot of other places you'll be able to find a book as well. Let me look at this chat because it looks like some people saying something in the chat. Hold on. So how do you prepay? You prepay by when the pre-sale starts on Labor Day weekend, which will be Friday at midnight. When you click the link, like the link will be out, and like all you are that get the email from me, you're gonna get an email. You're gonna get an email with the link in it. And when you go to click that link, it's gonna go right to the page to order the book. It'll take you right either through my website or right through doggone, I can't even think of the I can't think of the PayHip. It'll take you through PayHip, and it'll take you to a landing page. You see the book cover and all that different stuff, and you can click and you go ahead and pay, and then the book you'll have the book on 10/5. So if you have an e-reader, then of course it's going to be delivered through the e-reader on 10/5. If you don't have an e-reader, then and you're just getting it as a PDF, then it'll be emailed to you on at midnight on 10/5. So as soon as 12 a.m. hits, you'll be able to do it. No Audible available yet. I'm trying to work those things out. I'm trying to figure out how to work that stuff in. So on the Audible thing, I will figure out some kind of way to do it because I want my books to be Audible, because I know how I am. I don't even read physical books anymore. Everything I read is Audible unless I'm forced to because they don't have it in Audible. But I am looking to get it in Audible so that you guys will be able to have a read. Now, if you got a reader, it'll read to you anyway. So just keep that in mind. If you have an e-reader, you can have the e-reader read it to you. But I'm looking at doing the Audible thing. So good question, Fernando. Yep, good stuff. So you see here, it says all those details on the left-hand side. So that's just letting you guys know what you need to do to get the book. Of course, there's going to be emails going out. I'm going to have it, on every platform I can have it on. I'll be marketing it every day until the day that it, and then, even afterwards, I'll be marketing it still. And in 90 days, there'll be another one, 90 days after 10/5. And I'm going to release an ebook every 90 days until my author coach tells me that I can release the other book. So that's how it's working. So it's really it's not an amount, Barbara, to answer your question. There's not an amount. My guidance has told me to release an ebook every 90 days until they feel like I can release the regular book. And I know right now it's definitely not going to be until after elections, that's for sure. They certainly don't want me releasing my book before election. They want to get past the election, debates in the election, and once that quells, I saw something today saying that they're going to have a vaccine in late October, so hopefully that'll help out a little bit with COVID-19. But the climate has to change first. But you will be able to get these ebooks from me, which will be good information as well. That you'll be able to, and the ebooks will all be very inexpensive like this, like less than $5. So I'm not doing no ebooks for $12 and $13 and things like that. They're going to be very affordable, less than $5 for you to be able to pick up the grab the ebook. And there's a couple of pages that you see here. Those pages particularly have color on them, but the majority, like that's because you got about the author and things like that. On the pages that is not about the author, they're going to be black and white. So you don't have to worry about if you're going to print it off. You're not going to be using all the color ink in your printer and all that kind of stuff. So I don't have it set up that way. It's probably going to be maybe 6 or 7 pages of color where it's got about the author, and things of that nature. Other than that, won't be any other images in the book. And if there are any other images that I decide to add, they'll be black and white, like kind of a cartoon kind of black and white thing. So I do have a couple of options on that, but I doubt it very seriously. There won't be any color other than like you see the footer on the book and then a banner across the top so that you're not running out all your ink out of your printer when you go print the book off. It will be 7 chapters. It will be a foreword and all those things in this ebook. So that's pretty much how it's set up. So with that being said, go ahead and open up. So if anybody have any questions about any of what we talked about tonight, any of what we talked about last week on the Foreign Fish, anything about the book release, anything about, you know, kind of what we do here with this training, unmute yourself and go ahead and ask a question.
Hey, Mr. Dunbar, how are you this evening? This is Tamara.
Hey, Mr. Miller, how are you?
I am groovy, thank you. My question is in regards to the pre-sales. Is the pre-sales for the book or for this mini excerpt?
It's for the ebook.
So
Is that what you're asking?
maybe. I'm just a little confused. The pre-sale is happening this week, and then the book release is in about a month.
Yes.
What are you releasing in a
Go
month?
ahead. Go ahead. I thought you was finished. Go ahead. Say what you're saying.
Yeah, what are you releasing in a month versus what the pre-sales is for?
So the pre-sale is you're paying for the ebook. You can start paying for the ebook starting Labor Day weekend, this Friday, right?
And that's for what's coming in October?
Right. In October 5th, I'm going to release the ebook. So basically the pre-sales are for about a month before the book releases.
Okay,
Yeah. Yep. That's what that's for.
thanks.
Yeah, and just so you know, because you mentioned that when it's time, when I've gotten the word that okay, this is the date that you can release the full book based on the climate, then I'm going to set up pre-sales for that. Of course, you guys will know that I'll set those pre-sales up so people can start ordering the book, because that's going to be a little bit different. It won't be an ebook; it'll be a full book, and it gives it time to go to print, and it gives it time to get shipped and all that. So that way, when your pre-sale is in, then when it's time to go, it's just out and on the way to you. Does that make sense?
Yes,
Right.
thank you.
Anybody else? Going once? Going twice?
What will you be covering next week?
You know what? I'm not sure. I don't know whether I'm going to do the 16 other personality traits, and not excuse me, not the 16 personality traits, but there's other 16 things that when you're dealing with people, you have to, as you're making sales or working with people, that you have to look at. I want to see how detailed I'm gonna need to get on that to see whether how much longer it's gonna prolong. But I'll probably by Friday, it's Wednesday, probably by Friday, you guys will be getting an email letting you know what next week's training is gonna be.
Okay.
Yep, absolutely. Anybody else?
I'm going to say goodnight. Be well.
Yes. Good night. Anybody else? Going once? Going twice? All right, fantastic. So look forward to seeing you guys next week. If anybody has any questions about anything, just email me, direct message me, or call me, text me, whatever you need to do to get a hold of me. And you guys be safe. And I'll talk to you guys next week.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.